And about a third of the IRS employees will continue services, with about 15,000 being funded outside of appropriations, including 2,800 supporting Inflation Reduction Act initiatives. Some taxpayer advocate services will continue working in some capacity during the shutdown. Even taxpayers should still access online services like filing tax returns and making online payments. But during a shutdown, most taxpayer phone calls to the IRS go unanswered. It's tax season, everyone wants to know the truth. Refunds will not be processed except for error fee. E-file refunds would be directly deposited as well. And the IRS will not respond to paper correspondence if there is a government shutdown. Check Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI. Continue watching this video because you definitely don't want to miss out on this. Democratic lawmakers are worried about how the massive spending cuts would affect important agencies like the IRS and relief programs. If this happened, benefits may have to be cut. The escalating probability of a government shutdown is bringing attention to various federal agencies, with the IRS particularly making headlines. This is largely due to its allocation of $80 billion in the Inflation Reduction Act. Now, following the release of an extensive spending plan, the IRS initiated new compliance measures, targeting tax evading high earners and corporations to bring justice to those who need it. Now, we also want to say the uncertainty of government shutdown persists, with the September 30th deadline for Capitol Hill lawmakers to pass a CR and fund the government. The near majority and political divisions among Republicans have made an agreement before the deadline can challenging. Now, in the event of government shutdown, the majority of federal agencies experience disruptions, halting non-essential work. But essential services like Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid payments are expected to continue. Even potential impacts include unpaid work for air traffic controllers and TSA. The consequences of a shutdown extend beyond bureaucratic challenges. Now, as Congress continues to avoid it, who knows what will happen? In many cases, those benefits for Social Security will not be impacted. In fact, the shutdown includes Social Security and Medicare benefits and Department of Veteran Affairs. On Monday, the White House warned a government shutdown would jeopardize food assistance. Now, the supplemental SSI program actually is taken from the USDA. It serves the low income and women and children. But so far, it receives funding on an annual basis. It's putting it at risk if the government does shut down. During a press conference, people said that it expires or stops immediately if the event happens. The department does have a contingency plan that could provide funds for a day or two. But if everything happens...
Growth. According to one analysis, a 10% increase in public capital investments in core physical infrastructure increases productivity by more than 2%. And due in large part to this productivity increase, public investments in infrastructure grow national output by as much as 1.2% in the long run for every 10% increase in public capital investment. Public investment in infrastructure spurs private investment that magnifies the impacts. And these investments create jobs. Investments in broadband, for example, demand new jobs in installation, maintenance, and repair. And these are good-paying jobs, many of them for Americans who don't have college degrees. The impact on growth is one reason this administration is investing $110 billion to repair roads and bridges. Billions more are being spent on passenger rail and airports, and $17 billion.
An extra $200 a month would reflect a 12% increase to this amount, and currently Social Security taxes are paid only on the first $147,000 of earnings. De Fazio and Sanders want to change this. Their bill would apply the tax on any income of more than $250,000. A fact sheet on the proposed legislation stated that over 90% of households would not see their taxes go by 1 penny. One key thing to note about the bill is that it leaves a donut hole in place. Any income between $147 and $250,000 would not be subject to Social Security taxes. Also, everybody, Social Security taxes are currently only applied to income earned from working. However, the SSEA would extend the tax to investment in business income. The prospects for passage of major Social Security reform could even become more difficult after November elections, and political leaders will likely feel the pressure to bolster the federal program at some point, even if benefit increases are not in the mix. Everybody, the White House officials have put forward a new stimulus bill. This would include sending out at least $350 stimulus checks to eligible people. Governor Gavin Newsom and the state legislative leaders have confirmed that most people in California would receive stimulus checks ranging from $200 to $350 per person under a budget deal. Tax refunds under the agreement's $17 billion inflation relief package is going to provide $350 to individuals making less than $75,000 per year. And couples making less than $150,000 who file their taxes together will receive $700. Now, if families in those categories have at least one dependent, the deal calls for them to also receive another $350. That means families could receive up to $1,000 together. The agreement would also provide checks, although in smaller amounts, to many people who make more money. The smallest payments are designated for individuals making up to $250,000 who would get $200. Couples filing jointly who make less than $500,000 will receive $400. Under the plan, the state would send people the money through direct deposits and debit cards beginning in October. A spokesperson for the state's Department of Finance has said that the state's franchise tax board estimates all the money will be sent out by early next year. The state budget deal must be passed by the legislature and signed by Newsom to become law, but a statement from leaders and the Senate president said that a sign-on deal would indicate that it will happen. In addition to the tax refunds, the budget agreement will also spend the 23-cent sales tax on diesel for a year, starting October 1st. Under the agreement, the state would provide local governments the revenue that would have come from the diesel tax to avoid stalling local transportation projects. The agreement includes more money to help Californians pay their rent and utility bills. The announcement of the deal indicates Newsom's proposal to send $400 payments to vehicle owners is dead. Newsom has initially made the proposal to provide targeted relief from high gas prices that his administration said could be sent to Californians more quickly than payments to tax filers. But he said to get lawmakers to sign on to the deal. But he failed to get lawmakers to sign on to the idea.
About the financial stability and monetary policy risks that these assets pose and how are stablecoins different.
We don't have supply chain backups. About the 8,000 jobs that Hyundai is going to be bringing to Georgia, 3,000 jobs to Texas from Samsung, $17 billion investment. Toyota, 1,700 jobs in North Carolina on battery technology. The situation where we've created over 8 million new jobs.
What are your thoughts on this, everybody? Do you think that President Biden should do more for the American people and send out stimulus checks sooner than later? Tell me what you think in the comments below. A $2,000 Ford stimulus check, there's a big update on that. Lawmakers are considering a bill that would send more one-time relief payments to millions of people. This will be a huge boost to many people. California lawmakers could soon push a one-time California child tax credit to low-income families. This will be a measure supporters say will help families and children living in poverty. And there is a bill that was introduced, and the legislation would utilize the state's budget surplus to provide a one-time $2,000 California child tax credit per child, ages 17 and younger to families that earn $30,000 or less. And under this bill, a family with children ages 0 to 5 could receive $3,000 per child, $1,000